Tonight, the KREM 2 sports team is live from Portland and here in the studio to bring you highlights from last night's NCAA tournament games and to show you what comes next for the Zags and Vandals. The Post Falls Museum is in need of repairs. Tonight, we go over what the city is planning to do to pay for those repairs.
Cooler temperatures are on the way for the weekend, but I'm also tracking more sunshine and less wind.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We have live team coverage tonight as the Zags gear up for their game coming up tomorrow. We have Caitlin Galloway here in the studio. We also have sports director Andrew Quinn and KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones for that live coverage in Portland tonight. And as the Zags gear up for their game against Texas, well, let's start our team coverage out with sports director Andrew Quinn and Brandon T. Jones live from Portland tonight. Good evening, gentlemen.
The Zags here today. And, you know, last night after that win over Kennesaw State, it was a little interesting, Brandon, when the guys came off the floor, not a lot of smiles, you know, not too happy. The end of the game was kind of choppy, you know, some things like that. But heading into today, the team is loose. They feel ready to go as they get set to take on Texas tomorrow. Now, of course, this will be the fifth time in the last, I would say, about 10 years that the Zags have faced a Sean Miller team. Of course, the Zags in the last 4 matchups with a Sean Miller team are 4-0. But that last game was back in 2022. These are completely different teams. And so the Zags now have to get set to take on a red-hot Texas team, which has already won 2 games in this NCAA tournament heading into tomorrow. So we'll see how the Zags deal with this team. They've got some hot shooting. They've got some big shot makers on their team, especially Tremont Mark and Jordan Pope. But the Zags feel like they have hung their hat on the defensive side of the ball all season long. They feel ready for this matchup, and they're hoping to send the Zags back to the Sweet 16 for the 10th time in the last 11 years.
I think it should be a good one. Coach Miller recruited me at Xavier when he was there, so it'll be fun to definitely go against him and his squad. I know the big man shoots a lot of free throws. I think he's attempted like 260, most in the country. So definitely got to somewhere aware of and cognizant about, but we got to play clean and try to play without fouling, honestly.
Really good team. They got a really good big fella down there. Really good guards, really good wing players, and they're hot right now. So just got to contain them and implement our defense, re-implement our offense. It was a little bit slow last game, but there's still a lot of good things that we did, like make free throws. We still, as a team, could do a better job of getting to the free throw line. But just win the day.
They're a great team, and it's nice to play against players like this. They play really fast, a lot of isolation. We gotta be good at protecting the paint, sticking together to the plan in defense, and executing on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, they're a great team. Every team that's still in is here for a reason. Got, like you said, a lot of great isolation scores. They play fast, and then great big man. So pretty complete team. So we just gotta slow them down, hit our coverages, and we'll be good.
Now, Sean Miller does have an NCAA tournament victory over Mark Few. That was back when he was at Arizona back in 2014. Another player on Texas's team familiar with the Zags is Camden Heide. He was on that Purdue team with Zach Edey that beat the Zags twice in one season a few years back when Purdue made it to the national championship game. Here's what he expects from the Zags heading into tomorrow's game.
You know, obviously I think their record kind of speaks for itself. You know, obviously how many tournament appearances they've made, how far they've gone in the tournament. They've had great teams. So, it's just kind of one of those things where we need to execute our game plan, go out there and play hard and compete and kind of do what we do, and we'll put ourselves in a good position.
Well, there you go. It's all ahead of both of these teams tomorrow, 4:10 p.m. tip-off. But, Brandon, one of the major things that everyone was talking to Coach Miller about in his press conference was the fact that this is going to be a road game for Texas. A lot of Zag fans here in Portland, and I know you've been out and about here.
No, we got a chance to just kind of walk around Portland. Of course, again, it's their game in their own backyard. So I think a lot of the Zags fans, they went back to work today. It's Friday, wrapping up the week as they go into Saturday. But I think a lot of them will be happy to hear what you said in terms of those players a little bit upset with themselves as they're walking off of the court yesterday, just because it was a little bit of an ugly game, So the fact that they're locked back in, ready to go, and ready for Texas, I think that's a big deal right there.
Well, there you go. We'll have more for you guys coming up tonight at 5:30 and then again at 9. So stay with us out here in Portland. Mark, we'll send it on back to you.
All right, gentlemen, we'll check back in with you throughout the weekend. Meantime, the Gonzaga women wrapped up their first round game in the NCAA tournament this afternoon. The Bulldogs fell to Ole Miss 81-66. KREM 2's Caitlin Galloway live in the studio tonight to break down the game for us. Caitlin?
Thanks, Mark. Well, not the ending to the season, of course, that we had hoped for, but the Gonzaga women played a tough game against Ole Miss. The Rebels started off hot on an 8-0 run to open up this game, and they were up 17-4 near the end of the first quarter. But the Zags started to close that gap a little bit. Jaden Hale was the early hero for Gonzaga. She had a huge layup and drew the foul. Gonzaga trailed at 25-17 and then 25-19 after a bucket from Allie Turner. But the Zags trailed 39-23 at the half, and Ole Miss went on a 9-point run early in the third quarter to overwhelm the Zags. They led 50-26, and that would pretty much be the game. Gonzaga did go on a 17-point run at the end of the fourth quarter, which gave them some confidence, but it is Ole Miss advancing to the round of 32 with an 81-66 win. Allie Turner had 27 points in the win. Jaden Hale had 11 points off the bench.
The end of the game was fun. It's hard to play when you're losing by 30, but Lisa told us every time out, like, keep going, it's one possession at a time, and I think we did that, so I'm proud of our team.
We have a really young team, and I think we have a lot of potential, and we really don't know what our ceiling is going to look like, so I think that's really exciting, and to know that we can compete at this level, and that fourth quarter really showed, and I think if we can do that from the start going forward in future seasons, I think we could be really good.
Nesh is the only one who played in the NCAA tournament, and so I think it's good to give them a taste of what you have to do and what we are capable of.
Well, you can watch the full Gonzaga press conference on KREM 2+. And we'll continue, of course, to keep you updated on all of our local teams as the tournaments continue. For now, Mark, back to you.
All right, Caitlin, thank you very much. And be sure to join KREM 2 tonight at 9 p.m. for a live Tournament Central special. We'll be following the Zags and Vandals as they continue their tournament runs. You can watch it right here on KREM 2 and streaming on KREM 2+ tonight. In the meantime, let's switch gears and get our first check at the forecast with meteorologist Michelle Boss. Michelle, we've made it to the weekend. It's just about 5:07 on a Friday. What's coming our way this weekend?
Some cooler temperatures, but more sunshine. So just a little bit of a trade-off. We actually came in cooler today than was expected. We started off this morning in the low to mid 50s and thought it was a pretty sure thing that we'd get back up to 60 degrees, but couldn't even warm up more than 8 degrees this afternoon. So I'm a little bit surprised. But taking a look at temperatures out there right now, still well above normal for this time of year. The average is 50, and we were in the upper 50s today. Just checked the official high, 59 degrees. We sit at 58 right now in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. It is 60 in Pullman, 63 in Ritzville, and 67 in Moses Lake in Omak. But couldn't quite hit 60 degrees at the Spokane airport. Still plenty of wind out there. Got a sustained wind at 17 miles per hour. We've had gusts over 30 miles per hour this afternoon. It'll remain breezy tomorrow, not as much as today, and those winds will continue to come down on Sunday. Satellite and radar showing plenty of cloud cover, but we just really haven't seen much in the way of rain here in Spokane. Just a trace early this morning, but clouds sticking around overnight through early tomorrow morning. We do still have a chance for an isolated shower, but should be dry Saturday afternoon. Looking at a nice amount of sunshine for Saturday and Sunday, but cooler highs in the low to mid 50s.
All right, sounds good, Michelle. Thank you very much. Just into our newsroom tonight, after a 2-month investigation, Spokane Transit Authority is releasing findings of that double-decker bus crash. 9 people were on board at the time, 7 were hurt. KREM 2's Cody Proctor has been following this story since it first happened. She is joining us live tonight with more. Cody?
Well, Mark, you may remember that bus struck a railroad viaduct on Cedar Street right between 1st and 2nd Avenues back in January. Well, today, STA says the driver, who was identified as 66-year-old Wayne Morgan in a police report, was on the wrong route, which lacked clearance for a double-decker bus. STA also says the driver did not report any observed navigation system discrepancies earlier in his shift or verify the route using official reference materials, which is required by policy. The report goes on to say navigation anomalies contributed to the inaccurate routing displays and were found to be a contributing factor. The anomalies reportedly came from a third-party software system. STA says the data they input was accurate. They also state there was no evidence of operator impairment or fatigue. STA CEO Carl Otterstrom released a statement about that investigation today, saying in part, quote, "We know transparency into the circumstances behind this unfortunate accident are important for our community. We take responsibility for the safety of our riders, employees, and the community seriously," end quote. Now, we have reached out to STA to find out if the driver is still on administrative leave. We have learned that he is still on that leave tonight. The double-decker buses went back into service last month with new safety measures, including safety stops before the viaducts. And coming up tonight at 5:30, we'll be showing you new video of the moments leading up to the bus crash. In the newsroom, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
All right, Cody, thank you. Coming up, thousands more U.S. Marines are heading to the Middle East along with 3 warships. That story and other national headlines coming up next.
The museum would end up being a secondary thing to any business that came in here. And that's just not what we're about.
And a bit later, the Post Falls Museum is in need of major repairs. City leaders think bringing in a business could help out, but volunteers aren't on board.